We finally reached the end of Black Ops 2. To finish off this game, Treyarch gave us what many of us, including me, believe to be their best map yet in Origins. Following in the footsteps of Mob of the Dead, Origins takes the more complex Easter egg focused style to a new level. Even though it was only Treyarch's second attempt at this approach, and while I don't think this map was perfect or for everyone, they managed to craft what I believe is their most impressive map yet. Origins is a unique map that blends a diesel punk aesthetic with hints of an ethereal mystical vibe. The main portion of the map leans heavily into that diesel punk design, with features like the new shield design, the tank, and most notably, the heavily armored Panzer Soldats and the towering 1,000-foot tall robots that try to crush you. Personally, the sound of the giant robot steps always gave me a bit of nostalgia, and I feel like it's just such an iconic part of the map. When it comes to the map's mystical vibe, it's more subtle. In the main area, you mainly see it through the Templar zombies that spawn when you activate the generators or appear within the caves. There's also the newly designed mystery box and Pack-a-Punch machine. A fun fact about it is that as you complete the generators, you can actually see the Pack-a-Punch being built, but the true mystical element is found in the crazy place. With its floating walls that come down and the elemental pillars holding their respective crystals. Then there's the gramophone and the different elemental music disc, which combine both of these styles. Placing the gramophone to hear these records play to open a portal to another dimension just adds even more personality to this map that I find really unique. While I do appreciate the map's atmosphere, with the zombies on stakes, the skybox filled with dogfights with the Zeppelin coming through, and the massive robots walking through, I personally feel like the areas you explore don't really stand out that much from each other. From the trenches all the way to the church, I never really feel like the map changes. It maintains the same blue hue throughout, and the only truly distinct areas are the caves and the excavation site. Even the crazy place, which is the most colorful part of the map, is still predominantly blue. Even the Pack-a-Punch camo is blue. That's just my take on it, but I can't really blame them since the map is taking place in the middle of a war. Probably my favorite part of Origins is its layout. The map is masterfully designed, and I find it really interesting. You have the fire and ice portals located at opposite ends of the map, with fire at spawn and ice at the church. Then you have the wind and lightning portals on the opposite sides of No Man's Land. These portals act as the four corners of the map. Interestingly, each elemental disc is placed near their opposite elemental portal. So the ice disc is near the fire portal, wind is near lightning, fire is near ice, and lightning is near the wind tunnel. Now, when it comes to gathering the parts for each staff, there's a clear divide between guaranteed parts and RNG based ones. For the fire and lightning staffs, the parts are always guaranteed. You'll get the first part of the fire staff by defeating the Panzer, which always spawns on round 8. After that, you can open the path to the church, and on the next round, shoot down the plane for the second part. Finally, completing Generator 6 gives you the last fire staff part. For the lightning staff, all of its parts are scattered around the map, and all you have to do is ride the tank and hope that you make the jumps. These two staffs are entirely within your control and don't rely on any luck. On the other hand, the ice and wind staffs rely completely on RNG. The wind staff is pretty straightforward. You have to wait for the robots to arrive and shoot their glowing foot, then get stepped on. The ice staff is a bit more complicated though, as you need to wait for a snow round and then hope that the dig site in each of the 3 lanes provide the parts. I find it really cool how the staffs are grouped, not only in their layout and part locations, but also in how they're obtained, whether by guaranteed progression or by RNG. When it comes to using the staffs, the Ice and Wind Staff behave similar to previous Wonder weapons, like the Winter's Howl and the Thunder Gun. They both focus on clearing out zombies with their area of effect damage. On the other hand, the Fire and Lightning Staffs feel more like regular guns to me. The Fire Staff, for example, feels like a shotgun. It shoots 3 fireballs in a spread and has a slower rate of fire. Meanwhile, the Lightning Staff acts more like a full auto SMG or assault rifle, with its higher rate of fire and larger ammo capacity. But Origins doesn't stop there. The staffs can actually be upgraded, and upgrading them requires completing 5 extra steps, with 4 of them being similar across all of them. They all have you solving some kind of puzzle, then you rotate the stones to match the staff's color and shoot the corresponding ball. Finally, you kill zombies to feed souls into the staffs to complete their upgrade process. What's interesting is that when it comes to solving the puzzles, the staffs are split into 2 different groups again, Guaranteed and Deciphering. The Lightning and Wind staffs always have the same solution, making them more about memorization. Meanwhile, the Fire and Ice staffs have puzzles that change every game, requiring you to pay more attention. The Ice staff involves matching symbols, while the Fire staff has you matching symbols to numbers. I think it's a nice touch how Origins splits the staffs into 2 groups, not only when you're collecting the parts, but also when you're solving their puzzles. You've got 1 RNG staff and 1 guaranteed staff in each puzzle group. One set focuses on pattern matching, while the other is all about knowing what to do ahead of time. Upon upgrading the staffs, Each one gets a melee attack that can one-shot zombies until round 16. You also receive a utility item, which is the base of the staff, allowing you to revive down teammates. Most importantly, each staff gains a charge shot. The ice and wind staff create storms. The lightning staff forms an electric blob that chains lightning to nearby zombies. And as for the fire staff, I don't really know what's going on, but the zombies are dying, so I'm not complaining. Overall, the staffs and their upgrades are definitely worth the effort. While I don't think obtaining any single one of them is too challenging for a casual playthrough, the process does require some knowledge and can feel a bit overwhelming for less skilled players, which could be a downside for beginners, as the map tends to cater to more experienced players. The map builds on the gameplay design of Mob of the Dead, but ups the difficulty. While Mob had you navigating tight, close quarter spaces and using Afterlife to turn on power for individual items, it also made the map more accessible by giving you essentially an infinite number of downs. Origins reduces that complexity, but makes it more challenging. Here, instead of using Afterlife, you're tasked with turning on 6 generators, which are usually an unfavorable spot to power different sections of the map. The change can be seen from the start. For example, in the spawn room, Quick Revive isn't powered from the start like in every map before it. You play a short domination style capture the flag to turn it on, setting the tone for the rest of the map. Even the mystery box and the newly introduced Wonder Fizz machine require power. The Wonder Fizz machine is a great addition, giving you access to perks that aren't normally on the map. It also brings an interesting risk-reward element similar to the mystery box. You might get the perk you want, or end up wasting points on something you didn't want. As Origins is meant to represent the beginning of it all, the map brings a touch of nostalgia that harkens back to World at War. In the starting room, instead of the Olympia, we're introduced to a new wall weapon, the Iron Sight Ballista. This choice is a callback to World at War, where your starting wall weapons were a semi-auto and a bolt-action rifle. The map also reintroduces the STG-44 and the fan-favorite MP-40, which serves as a decent point weapon. We're also introduced to a new starting pistol for the first time in the series, the Mauser. And while it's essentially a reskin of the 1911, when Pack-a-Punch, it becomes the Boomhilda, a powerful, high ammo count semi-auto weapon that can easily hold its own and is honestly a great choice if you're not using a staff. My only problem with it is that if you find a Mauser from a dig spot, it replaces the upgraded one instead of giving you the ammo. Origins also features 4 challenges for players to complete, spending 30,000 points to allow you to earn a free 5th perk and double tap. Getting 115 headshots rewards you with a Pack-a-Punch weapon, then activating all 6 generators gives you a max ammo, and most importantly, filling the 4 soul chest unlocks the 1-inch punch. The 1-inch punch is a powerful melee attack that remains a one-hit kill until round 19. I do find it a bit weird though, as it competes with the upgraded staffs, which one hit until round 16. I really like how the soul chests are designed and positioned within the giant robot's footsteps. These areas add a sense of urgency, as the robots can reset the chest, forcing you to fill them up quickly. This is a great improvement over Mob of the Dead's slower process of feeding the dogs. The soul chest in Origins immediately absorb souls, reducing downtime and help maintain the map's flow. As this map is pretty big and has a lot for you to do, you can use the boxes as sort of downtime to gain points to either set up or open up more of the map for what you need. The map's overall flow feels really well designed. Your first priority is activating each generator, but while completing that objective, you can make brief stops to pick up staff pieces or fill the soul chest to efficiently work your way towards getting set up. The only thing that can disrupt this flow are the Templar zombies. These enemies appear every few rounds to deactivate generators, and while it's an interesting twist on max ammo rounds, where killing them before they turn off a generator rewards you with the max ammo. The punishment for failing to stop them is pretty harsh though, as they'll continue turning off all the other generators. This can be particularly annoying during the early to mid game, which forces you to have to prioritize them. The Templar zombies highlight my main issue with Origins, which is the lack of mobility. Most of Origins is covered in mud, which slows you down, and since the tank can only be on opposite ends of the map, it's not really that useful to use as a quick transportation method. The lack of mobility can make it frustrating if the Templar zombies spawn far from your location. A potential solution would be upgrading the elemental portals. Currently, only one portal can be active at a time, and they take time to form, limiting their usefulness. I think a more rewarding system would be to allow players who've upgraded a staff to keep its respective portal open permanently as a way to say that you mastered that element. While this would take time, I think it would be more rewarding and even incentivize casual players to upgrade all of the staffs to help improve the maneuverability around the map. Like Mob of the Dead, Origins is packed with side Easter eggs that enhance your arsenal and survivability. The first major one is the G-Strike, which is essentially an upgraded monkey bomb that calls in missile strikes to kill zombies. To obtain it, you need to take a stone to the church, get a certain number of melee kills, and then return it to the tank station for more melee kills. You can also earn a free Pack-a-Punch MG08, which you can get by using the Max's drone to collect 4 yellow discs scattered across the map. This is a nice upgrade that can help you get a powerful weapon quickly without having to use your points on Pack-a-Punching. The map also introduces the Golden Shovel and Golden Helmet. After excavating 30 dig sites, you'll earn the Golden Shovel, which increases your chance of better drops and gives you the opportunity to find the Golden Helmet, which makes you immune to the Giant Stomp. Most importantly, the Golden Shovel reveals red dig sites while in Zombie Blood. These red dig sites grant a free perk slot, potentially allowing you to obtain every perk on the map. I find this an interesting twist on how you gain perks compared to previous maps. Instead of completing a specific challenge or objective for a free perk, Origins makes it more of a gradual process. Once you have the Golden Shovel, it's just a matter of time before you can hunt for red dig sites. However, instead of getting a free perk directly, you only unlock a perk slot, meaning you still have to buy the perk yourself. While this makes the reward take longer to achieve, it also gives you more control, allowing you to avoid perks you don't want. Lastly, if you care to do a majority of the Easter egg, you can also upgrade the 1-inch punch to the Iron Fist, which gives your melee attack an elemental upgrade that can one-shot up until round 36. While some of these side upgrades, like the Iron Fist, are more challenging and aimed at players with a higher skill set, others like the G-Strike and free MG08 are more accessible. I think there's a nice balance of the better you get at the game, the more there is for you to do on this map, which is what makes it so replayable and rewarding. In the end, while Origins can feel daunting with its complexity and lack of mobility, it represents the pinnacle of what Treyarch has been building towards with zombies. Its blend of challenging gameplay and layered progression makes it a fitting conclusion to Black Ops 2 and a true fan favorite that cements Origins as one of the best maps in Call of Duty Zombies history.